And thank you for staying with us. The book I Am is an autobiographical collection of poetry shared to encourage and highlight the emotional healing of openly speaking up about painful experiences of sexual abuse, physical abuse, as well as the loss of loved ones. And here now to share a little bit more about it is the author of I Am, DeGeneste. And we thank you, Amanda, for being with us.
Thank you, Daren, for having me.
Great. And so, as we talk about your book, obviously, your book talks about some very real issues, emotional, sexual, and abuse. Give us a little bit
Yes.
about what was the impetus in you writing your book?
It was first to process what I had been through. I didn't realize, of course, it was something that was therapeutic for me. When I decided I was going to write it, my thoughts were I needed to let it out, put it on paper, and just get rid of it. But as I kept writing, I realized that it was going to help other people, other victims, process and start, if not continue, the healing of being abused sexually.
And when we talk about yourself, I mean, I guess many people may not know that you had emotional, sexual abuse coming up. A little bit about your story.
I was sexually abused as a child by my half brother and a number of other people. Now, each time I went through the sexual abuse, it would really make me feel lost emotionally. I felt like I was going through this thing and I really didn't have anyone to talk to about it. That's what I felt like because it had never been spoken about to me. So I didn't know it was something that shouldn't be happening. I actually thought it was normal until one day my sister asked me why did I lock the door, and I explained to her why, and her reaction was what told me that it was something that shouldn't have been happening.
And it took a minute. How long did it take you to realize, like, okay, this is happening, this is wrong, and really seeking help because that's a process, right? And getting help.
Yes, getting help, it takes a long time because sexual abuse and child sexual abuse, it's like taboo. And that's another reason why I wrote the book. I felt that we have to break that because that gives the abuser a blanket to cover under. If we're not talking about it, they feel safe to do this. And we need to talk about it.
Right. And when we talk about talking about it, there's a couple of facts that I know that you talked about when you talk about protecting kids and keeping kids safe. It says, 95% of child molestation can be prevented. That's a fact for you.
All of the research that I've done shows that, in fact, if you teach children body safety and teach them that it's okay to call out their body parts and say no when they're uncomfortable, when people are doing something to them that makes them uncomfortable, it is definitely a preventive measure.
And talk about parents, right? Because you have parents and caregivers. It's important for parents and caregivers to like build that firewall, and that firewall to really prevent against the possibilities of molestation and abuse. What can parents do? I mean, you've had your experience. What advice would you pass on to parents and caregivers right now that maybe you can give them some assistance?
I would say starting from toddler's age, teach them what their body parts are. Teach them by the correct name, the buttocks, the nipples, and teach them that these are private parts of their body, their vagina, their penis, and let them know it's private. Let them know to tell you immediately if someone touches it and makes them uncomfortable or makes them touch their private parts. These are things parents need to talk about with their children. We teach our children how to cross the street, how to tie their shoelace. We teach them the eyes, the nose. We need to teach them body safety, make them comfortable to talk about this from a young age so that they will know if someone touches their buttocks and they keep telling that person to stop, they need to tell mommy or daddy or that responsible adult right away.
Before we get into a poem that I know that you have, I want to ask about people who want to get connected to your book, and how are they able to get their hands on your book?
They can go on to store.bookbaby.com and purchase the book. They can reach out to me on my website, i-am-anda.com, and I will be happy to send a copy. The book is available in most bookstores nationwide.
And so, before we get out of here, I want to get an opportunity for you to share. I know that you have a special poem. So, give us a little bit about the special poem that you want to share.
Yes, thank you.
Mhm.
I would like the victims to know that they're not alone, and they need to choose them. Choose yourself when it comes to the healing. This poem is titled Free I Choose Me. I will not allow you to take my balance, not spiritually, physically, nor emotionally. My balance is my core. It tells me my purpose. I am here to love me. So within me, my balance I do store. You took from me that which you had no right. Now I get to tell of all the evil you did almost every night. And now, replenished with wholesome thoughts, strength, and a smile on my face, I write to be rid of you and free myself of your disgrace. Before you seemed so big and scary, now I pity you. And your existence to me, as I put pen to paper, diminishes through me telling my story. You have to tell the story in order to start the healing.
Well, thank you so much for sharing with us, and hopefully, people get connected to your book. Definitely a conversation that we need to continue in terms of protecting our children, keeping them safe. But thank you for using your voice and, sharing with others your experience, because it's definitely making a difference in others' lives. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, Daren.
Oh, great, great having you. Listen, now before we go to break, if you want more information, don't forget to visit our website, iamanda.com. We are taking a quick break. We do have more show. Want you to stay with us. We're coming right back right after this.
Thank you.